Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into a really foundational topic, the International Standard on Quality Management 1, ISQM 1 for short.
That's right. And we're working directly from excerpts of the standard itself. Our focus is, well, it's understanding how firms handling audits, reviews, that sort of assurance work, how they need to manage quality.
Exactly. Our mission here is to really unpack ISQM 1 for you, give you a clear sense of why it matters and what its key parts are, like a shortcut maybe.
A shortcut to the core ideas,
Yeah.
definitely, without getting lost in the full 100 pages. And it's important to remember this has been live since December 15, 2022.
Right, it's already in effect. So let's get started. At its heart, what really is ISQM 1?
Okay, fundamentally, it's about the firm's responsibility. Its job is to design, then implement, and then actually operate a system for managing quality.
So it's not just a policy document sitting on a shelf.
Not at all. It has to be a living, breathing system inside the firm, and its purpose, to meet the firm's own quality objectives.
And provide, what was the phrase, reasonable assurance.
Precisely. Reasonable assurance that those objectives are actually being achieved. It's about confidence in the outcomes.
And who does this apply to? Just the big international players?
Nope, it's broad. Basically, any firm doing audits or reviews of financial statements or other assurance, even related services engagements, sole practitioners right up to global networks.
Okay, that's a wide net. So if that's the what about the how? What are the building blocks of this system?
Well, ISQM1 lays out several key components. They're all interconnected, really.
Let's tick through them. The document mentions the firm's risk assessment process pretty early on.
Yes, and that's crucial. This isn't just general business risk. It's laser-focused on quality risks, identifying things that could stop the firm achieving its quality goals.
So, like, what could go wrong specifically with the audit or assurance work itself?
Exactly. And this risk assessment, it kind of drives everything else. It informs how the whole system is built and run. Think of it like the diagnostic step.
Okay, so if you spot a risk, say, around staff competency on new tech.
Then your system needs specific responses to that. Maybe more training, different recruitment, tighter review processes,
Got it. So risk assessment first.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah.
Governance and leadership pops up.
Right. This is all about direction and control regarding quality. How is the firm actually steered?
The classic tone at the top.
That's a huge part of it, yes. Leadership has to genuinely demonstrate commitment to quality. It shapes the firm's culture. If partners prioritize quality, allocate resources, champion it.
It sends a message.
It does. But if it's all about billable hours and quality, feels like an afterthought. Well, the system's undermined from the start.
Walking the walk, not just talking the talk. Okay, then there's relevant ethical requirements. Sounds familiar.
Yes, the fundamentals we expect. Integrity, objectivity, professional competence, due care, confidentiality, professional behavior, all that.
But ISQM 1 makes it part of the system.
It requires firms to have actual policies and procedures to uphold these. Things like independence checks, ethics training, how breaches are handled.
And I guess this ties back to the risk assessment too, like
Yeah.
identifying risks of ethical breaches.
Absolutely. You might see higher risks in certain industries or service lines, so you build in stronger safeguards there. It's all linked.
This interconnectedness keeps coming up, doesn't it?
It really does.
Okay, next. Acceptance and continuance. That's about clients and engagements.
Yes, being selective. Does the firm actually have the competence, the time, the people, the ethical clearance to even take on this client or this specific job?
So it's not just about can they pay.
Far from it.
Yep.
It's assessing risk again. Risk associated with the client's management, their industry, the engagement itself. Maybe a firm shouldn't take on something super complex if they lack deep expertise there.
Right, managing risk before you even start. Then we get to engagement performance, the actual work.
The nitty-gritty, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Planning, supervising, reviewing, documenting, all of it. ISQM1 wants clear methodologies, proper direction, partner involvement, making sure the work itself is high quality.
Which, naturally, requires resources.
You can't do good work without the right backing.
Yeah.
And resources here means, well, obviously human resources, enough skilled people, but also technological resources, audit software, data analytics tools. And intellectual resources, too, the firm's methodologies, guidance, templates.
And it's not just having them, but are they good enough? Are they maintained, developed?
Exactly. Quality and quantity. And ensuring they're used properly.
Okay. What else? Information and communication.
This is about the flow of information, internal and external. Identifying relevant info, capturing it, sharing it. Think about communicating policies internally or staying updated on new standards from outside.
Keeping everyone on the same page, basically.
Pretty much. If a new rule comes out, how does the firm make sure everyone knows, understands, and actually follows it? That's part of this component.
Right. Then there's a specific bit called specified responses to quality risks. Sounds like the action plan.
That's exactly what it is. Based on that initial risk assessment, what concrete things will the firm do?
Like the example you gave earlier, more training if there's a competency risk.
Precisely. Or if staff turnover is a risk to engagement quality, maybe the response is better knowledge sharing systems or efforts to improve retention. It has to be tailored.
Tailored, okay.
Yeah.
Not just generic policies. And the final piece seems to be monitoring and remediation, checking up on the system.
Yes, closing the loop. Is the system working as intended? This involves monitoring activities, maybe internal quality reviews, external inspections perhaps.
And if you find problems,
Then remediation. You need processes to investigate why it happened, fix it, and importantly, learn from it so it doesn't happen again. Continuous improvement.
that cycle. Assess, act, check, improve.
You stressed the interconnectedness earlier. Can you give an example of how a change in one area ripples through? Sure. Imagine a firm decides to start taking on much more complex international clients. That's a change in acceptance and continuance.
Okay.
Well, that immediately impacts resources.
Yeah.
They'll likely need staff with different skills, maybe more experienced people. It could affect engagement performance, needing more robust review procedures, maybe different tech.
And the risk assessment needs updating.
Definitely. New risks come with those complex clients. So risk assessment changes, leading to potentially new specified responses. And you'd want monitoring to check if these new procedures are working. See, it's all linked.
Like a web, as you said. You
Yeah.
tug one part, the rest moves. So firms need to think holistically.
Absolutely. Can't just set up silos.
Now, something interesting the standard mentions is scalability. It's not one size fits all.
Correct. The design, the implementation, the level of formality, it should be proportionate. It depends on the firm's size, its structure, the kinds of engagements it does.
So a small local firm doing simple reviews doesn't need the exact same documented system as a huge multinational auditing listed companies.
Exactly. The smaller firm system might be less formal, less complex, but, and this is key, the principles of ISQM1, the core components, they still apply to everyone. The what is the same, even if the how looks different.
Okay, that makes sense. But there's a definite bottom line here, isn't there? This isn't just best practice.
Oh, absolutely not optional. The standard is very explicit. Complying with ISQM1 is a prerequisite
A prerequisite for what?
for complying with everything else, ethical requirements, laws, regulations, the actual auditing or assurance standards themselves. You basically can't claim you're meeting your professional obligations without a compliant ISQM1 system in place.
Wow, so it's truly foundational.
It really is. It underpins everything else. It forces that shift from just focusing on individual jobs to managing quality proactively across the entire firm.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up then. Our deep dive into ISQM1, it's the International Standard on Quality Management 1, kicked in late 2022.
Right. And it mandates firms build and run this quality management system.
A system with all those interconnected parts we talked about: risk assessment, leadership, ethics, client acceptance, doing the actual work, resources, communication, responding to risks, and that monitoring loop.
All aiming for reasonable assurance that the firm's hitting its quality targets on every engagement.
And it's scalable, depends on the firm, but, and this is the big one, compliance is essential. It's the bedrock for meeting other professional duties.
Absolutely. The core idea is fostering this proactive, risk-aware culture of quality, making sure quality is baked in, not bolted on. Continuous improvement.
So here's a final thought for everyone listening, something to maybe mull over. We've talked about this structured system for audit firms, identifying risks, clear goals, managing resources, monitoring, improving. How could those core ideas apply elsewhere?
Interesting.
Think about other complex things you do, professionally or even personally. Managing a project, launching a product, even tackling a big personal goal.
Could you borrow some of that ISQM1 thinking?
Yeah, could you adapt parts of that framework, identifying potential pitfalls up front, ensuring you have what you need, checking progress, learning from setbacks to get better results in your world? It's kind of fascinating how these quality principles might translate, isn't it? Something to chew on.